everyone doing today? Great. And we're going to do that again. How's everyone doing today? That's right. Let's ramp it up. Let's have some fun today. All right. Well, I'm glad you're here to choose to spend this day with us. I'm Dave. Y'all know me. I'm a practitioner and a ministerial student here at Genesis, and I will be your host today. Our online host today is, I'm just going to assume it's Eric. I had to figure that out. So, Eric, want to confirm that? Eric's confirmed it. All right, Eric's your online host, so go ahead and say hi to Eric. Hi, Eric. I've been online, but that's cool too. We can all say hi to Eric. That's all good. All right. Let's all read our mission and vision statements together. Our mission: we are building a vibrant community, cultivating a garden of spiritual growth, honoring vulnerability, creating a safe place of comfort and peace where all are welcome and accepted. And our vision: Genesis is a bright beacon with an unshakable heart of love, accepting all, a home for the soul where we each creatively express our spiritual brilliance. I hope you see and experience that as you celebrate that with us today. Yeah, I realize you're not going to read that with me. All right, let's move on to our announcements. All right, ready to volunteer? See the welcome table. Cool. All right, let's move on. Today we have our annual community gathering with our potluck, so come celebrate with us after service today. There we go. And the men's group, my men's group is meeting tomorrow, so if you're interested in seeing or being a part of that men's group, just see me, or you can see Jim Monson. Either one of us will give you contact details for that. And right now we're reading Atomic Habits, James Clear, and it's very exciting stuff. So our upcoming summer class starting June 11th is Prosperity Plus, facilitated by our own Reverend James. It's a 7-week course. Tuition options, $40 registration with the tithe each class, or full price at $220. Are you ready to create lasting change in your life, whether it's your finances, relationships, health, or any area you're seeking breakthrough? Lasting transformation begins with inspired action. As a tithing program, Prosperity Plus is not just about learning, it's about embodying new principles in community. Mary Morrissey, awesome author, will share powerful insights through video lessons, and you'll receive support in applying the teachings to your own life. Books must be ordered online. See Reverend James for details about that. Envisioning, me and Cynthia are inviting you to be a part of our visioning team beginning Thursday, June 5th from 7 to 8:30. It will be an exciting process. And yeah, we'll just give you more about that. There will be emails and a lot of details. We'll send all that stuff to you. And we'll be talking more about that later. June is Pride Week, and we are invited by CSL Seattle to take part in the Pride. So if you're interested in the walking on June 29th from 1 to 4 p.m., stop by the welcome table for more information on that. And last but not least, our book study meets after service, any days that we don't have anything going on after service, and we are finishing up the book, Going Home by Jesus and Buddha as Brothers, and our new book that we're going to read, which is so totally exciting, I love this book, is The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity by Edwin Gaines. So we're going to be all about prosperity. And I'm going to read this next one. It's the Grief and Loss Workshop. You want me to read that, Cynthia? Cool. So Cynthia's going to be from May 17th? No, don't read that. That was, wow, thank you for that. Good. I certainly don't need to announce something that happened yesterday. I need to get my days in order. All right, perfect. All right. So, is anybody here for the first time today? I don't think I see anybody we have somebody for the first time. I'm sorry about that. My gosh. Thank you for that. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Alex. I was recommended this location from my friends down at CSL Tacoma.
Oh, perfect.
I moved up here to the Skyway area, and I love it down there, so I can see happy faces here too. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Well, thank you for being here today. All right. Well, let's get up and do our little meet and greet section. So we all like to get up and we meet and greet each other. We like to love and hug at each other. If you're not comfortable with that, we could do like handshake or namaste hands. It's all good as well. So Let's get up and say hi to each other. Well, I always love the meeting and greeting, getting up and loving and hugging on each other. Well, let's just settle in as we thank those who are in service today. So for our setup and cleanup crew, we have Mike, Eric, and Jim, and just anybody else a part of that crew. We're just going to recognize and bless you as being a part of that. Our morning greeter is Cynthia. On the projector is Mike. On the offering, we have Gideon. Our sound tech is Jim. Our online host is Eric. Our service practitioner is me. And our musician is the talented ChristineEss. That's right. Let's do that. Yeah. Ramp up the energy. That's what I like about it. Let's keep going. All right. And so ChristineEss will lead us into our centering song, Breathe and Turn Within.
Turn within, I breathe and turn within, I open up my heart and feel God's presence, I breathe and turn within, I breathe and turn within, I open up my heart and feel God's love, I breathe and turn within. I breathe and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I breathe and turn within. I breathe and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I pray and turn within. I pray and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I pray and turn within. I pray and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I sing and turn within. I sing and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I sing and turn within. I sing and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I open up my heart and feel
Today's reading is from the book, The Structure of Belonging, Community by Peter Block. It's from the section called The Restorative Community. Restoration comes from the choice to value possibility and relatedness over problems, needs, self-interest, and the rest of the stuck community's agenda. It hinges on the accountability chosen by the citizens and their willingness to connect with each other around promises they make to each other. Restoration is created by the kinds of conversations we initiate with each other. These conversations are the leverage point for an alternative future. The core question that underlies each conversation is, what can we create together? Shifting the context from retribution to restoration will occur through the use of language that moves in the following directions: from problems to possibility, from fear and faults to gifts, generosity and abundance, from law and oversight to social capital, the very fabric of our connections to each other, from the dominance of corporations and systems to the centrality of associational life, groups of people coming together to do some good, and from leaders to citizens. Restoration begins when we think of the community as a possibility, a declaration of the future that we choose to live in. Let us pray. So we turn within. We recognize that possibility. We recognize that divine presence of God, that spirit, that life-giving energy. We know that all things are possible with God. All things are possible with Spirit. All things are possible with that ever-presence, energy, and spirit of that life-givingness that is within each and every single one of us. We are a part of that presence. We are a part of that energy. We are a part of that God essence. It exists in each and every single one of us. That is spiritual truth. And when we come together in that, when we speak our presence in that, when we speak our truth into that, we come together and allow the ever-flowingness of God to come through each and every single one of us. There is nothing that we cannot accomplish. That is the truth of who we are. That is the truth of who we are as individuals. That is the truth of who we are as a community. That is the truth of who we are as Genesis. Here today, an unshakable heart of love. That is what I realize. That is who we are as a community. And I am so grateful for this community. I'm so grateful for this community, for the transformation that it has given to each and every single one of us, the way that it has touched our lives in only the way that we know individually to us. I am grateful for that. I'm grateful for us coming together and for what we can create together. I'm grateful for Reverend James and his spiritual guidance. I am grateful for all the people in service today. I'm grateful for our practitioners. I am grateful for the music I hear in the background. And I am grateful for all of our community coming here today because we are all a part of that process. And so with that gratitude, I give it over, knowing that God is always saying yes, forever and always yes. Yes to each one of us, yes to Genesis, and yes to what we create to this world. So it is. And with that, ChristineEss.
It wakes me up at night. It needs to share its light. It doesn't get how dark it is outside. It warms the rising sun. It kisses Oh, can't you hear it in my voice? Oh, can't you see it in my eyes? Love, love is alive in me. And when my golden crown becomes a cup of doubt, I don't remember. All I try to remember is what I need is all around. Oh, can't you hear it in my voice? Oh, can't you see it in my eyes? Love, love is alive in me. Oh, can't you hear it in my voice? Oh, can't you see it in my eyes? Love, love is alive. Oh, can't you feel it in my touch? Know that I'll always have enough. Love, love is alive in me.
Thank you, ChristineEss. Wonderful as usual. So today we're going to talk about healing through conflict, right? Conflict, reconciliation, and transformation. This is how we negotiate peace. And let's start with our affirmation. With empathy and open communication, I heal through conflict and move toward lasting peace. Before we say it again, let's sort of dissect this a little bit. Empathy. So we've talked a lot about empathy. That's like compassion and feeling for the other person. Open communication. This is being honest about what's up with you now. I heal through conflict. This is in our care circles. We are working with Mary O'Malley's book, "What's in the Way is the Way." And so the conflict is what's in the way, but it turns out that it can be the way. It is the way when we apply spiritual principles to conflict. It's the way through it, and the conflict helps us grow spiritually, personally, and societally, and move towards lasting peace. And the lasting peace isn't, peace is a process. It isn't like a state, you get there and nothing ever happens. It's more of the same, but everybody's in an elevated state and we're connected to each other, and we work, there are waves, there are ripples, there are waterfalls, there are torrents, but we're moving forward and we're moving with each other in community. So let's say this again one more time. With empathy and open communication, I heal through conflict and move toward lasting peace. So we want to transform disagreements into opportunities for growth, creating harmonious, mutually beneficial solutions. I'm going to read a quote from Genzu Earthlyn Manuel, who is somebody I I've just met, not in person, but through her extensive, she's written like a dozen books. She is an American Buddhist priest in San Francisco, but she grew up in New Orleans, where she was a Creole medicine woman of the drum Creole. And so, no, sorry, medicine woman of the drum. I needed punctuation in there. So I talk about embodied spirituality a lot because this is the way spirituality connected to me. You know, growing up as an evangelistic atheist in Connecticut, the way I found spiritual life is through noticing it hitting me in the face all the time. It got out of my story and into my presence. And so she is all about, don't ignore what your body's saying. What your body's saying, what your life is about, this is part of the message. What's in the way is the way, if she were a Mary O'Malley person. So she says, we have down through the years developed many means to attempt to heal, mend, and atone for our actions. Yet whether our spiritual paths have assisted us, our aspirations to be better human beings may inadvertently hinder us. She has quotes around better human beings. To be good people, we tend to bypass the messiness of our lives in order to enter the gate of tranquility. But can the gate of tranquility really be as we imagine it? No matter which way we approach peace, it seems we must cross the burning threshold of human conditioning to enter it. We must cross the burning threshold of human conditioning to enter it. So it's our conditioning, you know, it's we talk about our creative brain, our spiritual brain, and our survival brain. And we spend a lot of time in our survival brain, and we can't just ignore it. I mean, we can, but that's a very different life than I think most of us are planning on living. So before we leap to the universal, the true essence or spirit, why not start where we are as human beings? We must carve a path through the flames of our human condition and see it for what it is and bow to it. Not a pitiful bow, but a bow of acknowledgement. Bowing to our human conditions. We acknowledge we might not know how to end hatred, and we might not be superheroes, but we are human beings. So thank you, Zenju Earthlyn. I was a Sunday school teacher for many years, and I need my props for this particular sermon. This is something we used to teach. Well, you'll see that you can use it to teach all kinds of things. I've got, some of you have seen me with these before, our giraffe ears and our jackal ears. And jackals, the way jackals live is they notice the weakness of other animals. They find the weak point, and whatever the weak point is, that's what they kill and they eat and they devour. So when you put on your jackal ears, you're looking for somebody's weak point. You're looking for the worst in them. You're looking for all the things they say and all the things they are. What's the thing that's going to hurt the most? What's the thing that's the least in them? And this is, the ears go two ways. They go facing out, so that's like taking it inward. They also go facing inward, so that's when you're talking to yourself. And the jackal ears are the part of you where your judge is so disappointed in yourself. And why couldn't you have done better? And you're better than that person, and all the kinds of things that you could imagine a jackal saying. And you know, we all have our jackals. We all have that part of us, part of our survival brain. And it really wants to help. It's just that it doesn't know any better. And we can switch at any point to giraffe ears. This is a decision we can make. And the giraffe, we picked the giraffe because of all the land animals, it has a very large heart. And it's because its heart's in its body, but it's got its neck way up there, and it needs to pump the blood all the way up to the brain. So And the heart represents, when we're in our heart, when we are manifesting love, when we're being the beloved and the loving. And so the giraffe ears facing outward are looking for the best in people, looking for what's good in people. And when facing inward, the giraffe ears are telling us, well, I may have made that mistake, but I learned something. It's like Thomas Edison at one point said, I haven't made 700 mistakes. I've discovered 700 ways not to make a light bulb. It's all data. And so even when you make mistakes, the giraffe can find a way to use that instead of using it to torment yourself. It can use it to see what is the good you can find in what just happened. There's an expression, inhale world, exhale peace, which is a metaphor for how we transform our view of the world into it's basically the giraffe ears. Let's put them back on. So it's a metaphor how we can see what's in the world, see what's neutrally in the world, and we can uplift it by transforming it, by seeing what's best in it. Martin Luther King Jr. talked about, he looked at all the issues they were having, during the civil rights movement in the South, and he decided that he modeled his work after Gandhi. And Gandhi used something called satyagraha. And satyagraha was a way to get what you want by, it translates to something like love force or truth force. It's a way you stand for what you stand for, but you do it with love. You remain in relationship with the people who you're protesting against. And I think Gandhi knew that he couldn't, if they got violent in their protests against England, at the time they were protesting against England, England was one of the leading military powers in the world, and they had the Indians outgunned. And they were not afraid to kill tens or hundreds of thousands of people because they dehumanized them. They weren't in relationship with them. They just treated it like, something you have to do. Gandhi had everybody stay in relationship to them. And so by doing that, you could, actually I like, Gandhi ended up defeating, this giant, the biggest empire in the world by dealing them with love and honesty. Martin Luther King Jr., in the bus boycotts, in the restaurant sit-ins. In the restaurant sit-ins, let's say you're sitting in a restaurant ordering food and you're not going to get any food, but if you are loving the people who aren't serving you and loving the people who are coming up from behind and pouring milk on your head, then it's much more pleasant than if you're dealing with hatred. And we know that love, it expands. The heart has a magnetic field that can go dozens of feet from us. And so anybody who steps into your field, their heart is feeling what you're feeling, and they're being transformed by you. When we talk about my evolutionary purpose, our evolutionary purpose, transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in our world. You do transform people just by your presence when your heart is sending out that magnetic field, sending out that field of love, of giraffe heart. And by doing that, you can inspire people, and by your example, you can inspire people to make a positive difference in our world. I thought about that when I was driving to church, and I didn't notice I'd accidentally pulled ahead of the stop line. I was like 2 inches into the crosswalk until this guy came walking by, and he just walked right at the edge of the crosswalk, which meant he was half an inch from my car, and he was just like, He wasn't looking at me, he didn't yell at me, he didn't pound the car. He just was like, this is the crosswalk. This is for pedestrians, and I'm going to use my crosswalk. And I thought, that is such a good message for me. And that guy made a positive difference in my world and in his world, because there's one fewer cars that's going to be 2 inches into the crosswalk. I'm probably going to be 6 inches back, maybe 2 feet back from the crosswalk. And give him space so he doesn't have to brush up against my car. I did notice when he crossed the other street, when there wasn't a car there, he went way into the car lane and took a kitty corner. But that's okay. Nobody was using it. He's like, this is a public street. People get to use it too. One of the fun things about India is they really are, everybody uses the streets. The streets aren't just for cars. When you're driving down the street, there are people in the street, they're playing ball games, they'll move off the side of the street when you go by and then move right back on. They actually do that in my neighborhood too. We do that in my neighborhood, I should say. There are cows in the street, cows just hang out and the cars drive around them, and everybody can share, and that's the convention. So this young man was bringing us closer to that convention in Seattle. Martin Luther King Jr., by operating out of love, I think they made the whole operation more pleasant, and they were working to transform. They didn't just want, when we talk about negative versus positive peace, negative peace is where there's no violence, but there's a tension. Something isn't right, and you can feel it. Positive peace is where everybody's agreed or willing to work together on this. We all know what's true for each other, and we're all meeting as best we can to meet everybody's needs. And that's what Martin Luther King managed to do. My son did this too when he was at Schofield Barracks, when he was in Oahu as an Army archaeologist. His job was to find any indigenous artifacts, or any artifacts. Really, some of the artifacts were from the Baptists who moved to Hawaii in the 1820s and 1850s. But what he'd see when he got to the negotiating table, he saw the guy who was in charge of construction. And his job was to get it done, on time, under budget. And then there were the indigenous people, and their job was to make sure their community was respected. But all he heard was, everybody had their coyote ears on. And he was like, I have to go to these meetings, and everyone is being a jerk. The construction guys are like, you can't get in my way. I got stuff to do. It's just a bunch of bones. The indigenous people saying, you can't erase our history. This is our island. You took it over illegally. This belongs to us. You can't do this. And my son luckily took a nonviolent communication class. He actually was wearing his coyote ears when he was thinking, God, these guys are being jerks. Or maybe he was just doing an accurate appraisal of the way they were behaving. But what he found was, by being curious and compassionate, he found that they each had needs. Marshall Rosenberg sort of codified this in his nonviolent communication, or people call it compassionate communication now too. And so what he'd do as the meeting went on was he would look for people's needs. And once he found out what their needs was, he found a way that they could make the building project happen on time and under budget, while honoring and taking care of the indigenous needs and the need for history. I think I've talked to you about, he worked with the kahunas, the indigenous kahunas, to create different burial places where you could, with honor, And you'd have a ceremony where you, with honor and respect, move the bones of the people, because anywhere you build in Hawaii, Oahu is a pretty small island. Even, all of Hawaii is pretty small. People have been living there for 600 years. They die, 600 years of dying. There are a lot of people. When you build, there's a good chance you're going to run into one of them. And it's fair for people want their ancestors to be treated with love and respect. So he created, actually before he left, he created in Bellows Air Force Base, just a beautiful place by the beach, by the woods, where they'd regularly have ceremonies to reinter indigenous people. And so just by listening with his giraffe ears and bringing his giraffe heart into the negotiations, people's jerkiness lasted a much shorter time. Basically, they would move once they saw that their needs were going to be met. They could they could take off their coyote ears and listen with their giraffe ears. So at this point, I want to go into our hearts for a minute. So let's breathe into our hearts. It can help if you touch your heart. It helps move you physically in the present to that location. And then we want to have a feeling of appreciation in our hearts. And so think of someone or something you appreciate. It could be a loved one, a beloved pet, a family member, really anyone here, this particular engagement. So that appreciation. And as we feel it in our hearts, we're tuning into that, and we feel the love, the ease, the appreciation filling our hearts, and then moving beyond our hearts and filling our entire bodies. And as we feel the intensity, the radiance of that love, that ease, that appreciation, just allow yourself to relax and lean back into it. And notice that it surrounds and interpenetrates every cell in our body. We are it, and it is us. We can continue to relax and lean back into it, or we can dive and swim around in it. It is our very nature. This is how we connect with the universe, is through an ocean of love. And as we sit centered in our heart, we notice that our ocean of love connects us to everybody here. Love does not live in time. Love lives in eternity. So whenever you watch this, or whenever you think about this moment, it is the same moment that you're loving now, that you were loving at some other time, or that you will love in the future. Love and God exist outside of time, which is why and outside of space, which is why the entire presence of God and love is always anywhere you pay attention, and why it connects us, and why it brings us together. And now, let's just ask ourselves a question. Sincerely ask the question, what is mine to do? What is mine to do in the world? What is mine to do in this moment? What is mine to do? And as you sincerely ask that question, know it has already been answered. And you'll become aware of the answer by a vision, by a word, by a thought, by a picture, by a sudden knowing that maybe now or maybe in the future. But know, what is mine to do? We all know now what is ours to do. So let's breathe again into our hearts. And whenever you're ready, you can bring your awareness back into this time and this place, knowing that eternal love is always there for you wherever you are and always connects us with each other. And so whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. So there's an interconnectedness between inner peace and outer peace. And I think we were seeing that. We saw that with Martin Luther King's civil rights people. That the fact that they had such inner peace and that they devoted so much time to practicing love and devotion, it allowed them to stay in relationship with people who were not wanting them to be there, who did not want them at the lunch counter, who did not want them voting, who did not want them to be part of the society. And they were saying in the most loving possible way, we are here. And we love to be here. We are part of this community, and we need to participate in this community. And yes, granted, it took National Guards, it took a whole nation to turn to their side, but the nation did turn to their side. And they succeeded. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream of a time where people would not be judged first by the color of their skins, and we're a lot closer. It isn't a threshold we crossed and can never go back. It's a moving target, but we're way closer than we were 50 years ago. And so that's the interconnection of inner and outer peace. My son saw that when he'd go as an archaeologist, and he started looking for people's needs instead of swapping grievances at the negotiating table. There's also the role of personal responsibility in attaining positive peace. That really conflict begins with conflict within us. It's our inner coyote, and our inner coyote, it's hard to have peace when part of you is saying, that's wrong, they're wrong, I'm wrong, everybody's wrong. And especially if you feel like you're wrong. We know about scapegoating. This was one of the things, actually I'll leave this on when I'm talking about scapegoating. It's funny because scapegoating is first described in the Bible 3,000 years ago in the book of Numbers. The book of Numbers is, you'd think it wouldn't be an interesting book, but see, we engineers and mathematicians know there are scapegoats and talking donkeys in the book of Numbers. So it's got hidden depths. And what they would do is every year in a village, they take two goats, and one of the goats, they would put everything bad that happened in the village onto that goat. They'd say, you're responsible for this and that, and all the bad things is on you. And this seems really bad, doesn't it? Except that then they'd chase the goat away. They'd say, go away, you're no longer part of us. And the goat would go into the woods and become a wild and free goat. And the other goat would become a sacrifice and a feast. So I know, was that good for it or not? Good for its spirit. But the scapegoat got to go free, whereas in modern society, the scapegoat is the one we punish. You know, we're looking to put all our bad stuff on somebody. When we feel bad, we're like, that's got to be somebody's fault. So let's put it on them, put it on them, put it on them. My internship mentor, minister, Terry Murray in Olympia, when I was an intern there, the Faith Action, well, there were protests every weekend in Olympia at the state capitol. And some people were bringing guns, some people were being very fierce, and it was very tense. There was fighting breaking out. And the Faith Action Network decided, well, let's bring coffee and donuts. Everybody likes coffee and donuts. And what if we set up a booth with our coffee and donuts? And one of the people, actually several people said, yeah, and then we say, if you're against the government, you don't get any coffee and donuts. And Reverend Terry said, what if we let everybody have the coffee and donuts as long as they're nice to each other, and as long as they're civil, they can have a discussion, and all the coffee and donuts they can eat while they're inside the peace circle. And so she was completely delighted that in the midst of all this conflict, the people who came into the coffee and donut circle had wonderful, deep conversations. Many of them had never talked with somebody from the other side because they immediately got into the blaming and you can't, they're so bad, how can you? But when they listened, it was a very positive experience. And I don't know whether Reverend Terry certainly wouldn't claim any credit from her little peace circle for manifesting peace in the whole situation. I probably, if I had been there, I probably would have if I could. I mean, realistically, but I do know that they had wonderful conversations. They deepened the meaning and understanding of what it was like to be on the other side, and they deepened the other side's meaning of what it was like to be them. And so, Reverend Terry still didn't like the Christian nationalists, but I don't think she had coffee and donuts with a lot of Christian nationalists there. It's hard. Sometimes your coyote ears just come on by reflex. But the more you can work on them, the more you can, that's why peace is a process. And you need, the empathy and open communication, you need to have that with yourself. Like you recognize, oh, the judge is disappointed in me again. Or, the judge thinks I could have done that better. But, then you notice, we're human. And, we're fully human and fully divine. And so we recognize and we acknowledge and welcome our humanness. So personal responsibility. We take personal responsibility. We look at the conflict within us. We look at our own coyote ears. We look for our own giraffe heart when we want to create peace. But we don't play victim. We don't suppress our needs. We make sure that people know what we want, and that we expect and know that our needs will be desired. Our needs will be supported in our group. So we recognize positive peace involves ongoing commitment and vigilance. We can use satyagraha. We can have our love force or our truth force, the power of our word, the power of knowing what's true for us. We know, Emma Curtis Hopkins. It's interesting, I'm studying, Karen Williams is leading us in a wonderful Roots of the Centers for Spiritual Living, Roots of the Science of Mind course. And we started off studying Ralph Waldo Emerson, who is all about the world is magic and it's full of spirit and we are all wonderful extensions of this. And Thomas Troward, who was a judge in India, said, I wish he had met Gandhi. Because he saw the laws being good. He saw the laws being a positive force, making the world a better place by bringing order into a disordered world and helping everybody to work together by following the rules. And Thomas Trord's view of spirit is that the same way. If we align ourselves with spiritual law, then the universe will work with us. And then Emma Curtis Hopkins is like, good is God. When you do good, that is God working for you. You feel the reviving stream that feels like an elixir through your being and brings you pure pleasure. See, that was my experience of God. That's what made me think, this atheism does not give me elixirs. It's too much coyote ears. So God works in the truth. And so she says, this is very Trord, like, tell the truth of God, and the omnipotence of God moves. And so this is when we speak our truth, the whole universe supports us. So let's say this again together 3 times. With empathy and open communications, I heal through conflict and move towards lasting peace. With empathy and open communication, I heal through conflict and move toward lasting peace. One last time. With empathy and open communication, I heal through conflict and move toward lasting peace. Thank you for that. And now it's time for our prayer cards. And I always ask people to look first at the, one side says, my prayer demonstration. And anytime you've ever gotten anything you wished for or hoped for, or anyone ever got anything they wished for or hoped for, take one of those examples that strikes you and write it down there. Because by writing down the demonstration, that vastly manifests power for your prayers. And then you can pray for the world, you can pray for a particular person, you can pray for a prayer of gratitude, a prayer of need, a prayer of affirmation that all is well and everything is unfolding as it should.
I'm open, I allow it. I let the good flow through me. I'm open, I allow it. I let love flow through me. Finding the courage to weather the storm, keeping my heart open when I'm afraid of being torn. Trusting I'm strong enough to see the pain I've caused. Finding faith and clarity to lead me on. So I'm open, I allow it. I let the good flow through me. I'm open, I allow it. I let love flow through me. All I need is right release and let go, resistance, control, and open myself to more than I know, 'cause I'm open. I allow it. I let the good flow through me. I'm open. I allow it. I let love flow through me. All of life is conspiring for my good. All of life is conspiring for my good. 'Cause I'm open, I allow it. I let the good flow through me. I'm open, I allow it. I let love flow through me. I'm open, I allow it. I let the good flow through me. I'm open, I allow it. I let love flow through me. I'm open, I allow it. I let the good flow through me. I'm open, I allow it. I let love flow through me. I'm open, I allow it. I let love flow through me.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right. I'm putting on the ears. We're going to do it. I had to do it. I got the ears for the offering. I'm putting on my ears of generosity here. So we can all go. All right. So Genesis is a community dedicated to love, inspiring harmony, and creating connections to empower spiritual growth. And we love you are here to share in that with us. This is an invitation to participate in circulation, to connect with abundance and generosity. Your participation makes all this possible, and we truly appreciate your support. So let us take a moment to craft our financial gift. And now I'm going to invite you just to hold your prayer requests and offering next to your heart as we say our offering blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am thankful. Gideon, we'll go around and collect our offering blessings as we sing Stepping into the Flow.
I'm stepping into the flow, giving and receiving, blessing that I know I'm a part of something bigger in of all I am. So grateful, I'm stepping into the flow. I'm a part of something bigger, and of all I am so grateful. I'm stepping into the flow. So grateful. I'm stepping into the flow.
And so with open hearts we receive these gifts, knowing that fruits come forth to do powerful works. And we bless the givers, knowing that as we give, we receive tenfold. In deep gratitude, we give thanks. And so it is. So thank you for joining us today. I invite you all for food and fellowship and our annual community meeting after service today. Let us stand and sing our closing song, I Release.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Love and blessings, everyone.